Doing awesome. How are you doing, Dave?
I'm doing great. We're back for another week, man. This is exciting.
I'm really excited, man. We've had a lot of feedback from our last podcast. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was great. Well, let's get this show on the road, man.
That sounds good. What do we want to talk about today?
Well, what I've heard you talk about with your business, iAutoAgent, and your buyer's program is how you take all the fat out of it, and people aren't spending all day just trying to buy a car. So, tell us more about that, Jay. I've heard a little bit, but I've heard a little bit for enough to get myself in trouble.
Well, I'll save it. I'll save it here for a second. But we asked people what they wanted to hear, and we got their feedback. So in a matter of 30 seconds, we are going live after this.
Have you ever felt like you were taken for a ride when buying, selling, or repairing your car? Well, not anymore. I'm Jay.
And I'm Dave.
And this is the podcast that tells you what to watch out for, whether you're buying, selling,
or repairing your car.
With 47 years of automotive experience, we are the Automotive Authorities. This podcast is sponsored by iAutoAgent. We're real estate agents for cars.
And Quality Auto STL. Trusted services with no surprises.
I love watching that.
Me too. I forget who did that, but they rocked it. That kicks ass.
Well, we've got a lot of great people. I do want to give a special shout out to our producer, Techie Tony, with Techie Tony Media. He is the one that makes this all go. And you probably see a lot of posts by him. If anybody's interested in doing their own podcast, definitely reach out to Techie Tony. He is the man and the legend, right?
Yes, sir. Because this is above our pay grade.
All right. Well, we're going to get right into it. So we're going to talk about how to take the time that when you're at a dealer and cut it in half. Because absolutely. There's easy ways to do it. And, the thing is we do this every single day, and most people do this once every 3 to 5 to 10 years. So you can't expect people to know what the best practices are. But I can tell you, I'm going to give you some insider tips today after being in this business for, almost 26 years now. And I spent 18 years in the dealership world. If you want to know the secrets of getting out of the dealer in half the time, listen closely. I do. And you might be surprised by my answers. So the very, very first step when you're going to buy a brand new car is you need to vet the dealer's reputation. That's the number one thing you should do before you even start. And here's why. Because when you read Google reviews and you read these different reviews online, you're going to see a pattern. And that pattern could either be positive or it could be negative. Now, iAutoAgent, my company, we work with dealers all the time. And I only work with dealers that I absolutely love. The dealers that are straightforward with me. And granted, you as a consumer may not be able to do the things that iAutoAgent can do in the buyer's agent program when we help people buy vehicles. But I'm going to give you some of the tips that I can share with you that if you want to do this yourself, these are the things you do. So when you vet the dealer and you're looking at the reviews and you're seeing review after review that says the same thing, this dealer did this and they charged me this and this and this and this, and it's the same thing, everything that you read, chances are you're probably going to experience that when you deal with the dealer.
Yeah, makes sense.
On the flip side, when you're looking at dealers and they have great reviews and it's simply the same thing, I felt like they were straightforward with me. I felt like it was easy. And you see that over and over, then that's the dealer you want to deal with. So that's step one. Okay. It's very simple. You determine on who you want to work with because there's many different dealers for different brands of vehicles. And this is, we're talking about brand new vehicles. So the next thing that you're going to do is you should know the cars that you want. And there's a lot of sources out there that you can look up reviews on cars. And I feel like the easiest way to look up a review on a car is simply to go to our old friend Google and type in the kind of car you're looking for. And then that's going to help out tremendously, because you're going to see the vehicles that you like. You're going to see the vehicles you don't like. You can read reviews about the vehicles. And again, same concept. Figure out vehicles that have good reviews behind them. And there's also podcasts, and there's also people doing, Facebook groups and whatever. Just go to those places to find the vehicle that you want.
Hey, question, Jay.
Yeah.
What about some of those car-specific review places, like Car and Driver and Car Gurus and True Car?
Here's how
the car reviews go.
I think that you have to be careful. And these are my opinions, and you may not like my opinion, but like Car and Driver and Motor Trend, unfortunately, those magazines, they have these things called the Car of the Year. And some of them are the worst cars ever. And we can talk about that mechanically. So what I like to do, Dave, is I like to look on the reviews as far as what real people are saying. So Edmunds is a good one. I hate to say Kelley Blue Book, but people still put reviews on there. Just again, look for patterns. And that's the best thing to do. Don't go to the big magazines, because the big magazines are also being paid big bucks from the manufacturer. So I like raw information, just like our podcast, raw information, real stuff. And here's the next thing you do. And this is a big one. And this is a golden nugget. You should email and talk to somebody through email at the dealer. And you should schedule a test drive that way. You should not just go into the dealer randomly. Talk to somebody through email. Tell them that you're going to be there at 12 o'clock on Saturday to drive the car. And you're going to drive it. And you're going to leave. And you're going to look at other cars, because you may want to look at 3 or 4 different cars. What people make the mistake of is they go to the dealer on a Saturday, which is the busiest day of the year for a dealer, or busiest day of the week for a dealer. And then they hope to find somebody to help them. Where if they did it right, they would they would email the dealer, not call necessarily, but email, and say, I'm going to be there at 12 o'clock on Saturday. Therefore, your car is waiting for you. You get to take a test drive in the car, and you get to leave. And then you go to the next dealer and the next dealer. And you can drive 3 and 4 cars in a matter of
hours.
Maybe like an hour and a half. I mean, how much time do you need on a test drive? 15, 20 minutes to determine if you like the car. And then maybe when you determine if that's the car you like, you come back and you drive it for a little bit longer. But that's how you really use your time efficiently, okay? The next thing that you're going to do is, once you've determined the vehicle that you like, you can do one of 2 things. You can go back and redrive it for a longer period of time. Or if you already know what you want, you do the research on what we call incentives. And I'm going to give another golden nugget, so everybody listen closely. When you look online and you see a dealer's price online, 9 times out of 10, you will not get that price. And here is why. Because when dealers put things online, they put every incentive that they possibly can think of that you're going to qualify for or not qualify for.
So all the incentives in one spot.
They do. And so, let's just say, for instance, what do we have? Oh, we had just helped a client buy an Acura MDX, and they see the incentives online, and they see they're going to save themselves $5,000. Sounds great till they find out that you have to be a college graduate of Harvard as a valedictorian in order to get the one rebate. And I'm exaggerating, obviously, but or you have to have a certain make or model of a vehicle in order to get a certain rebate.
To trade in or buying?
Well, you don't even have to trade it. You just have to own that vehicle. So these are coming from the manufacturers, and they try to make this stuff very complicated, and they do a really good job of it. And then the old, are you military? Are you a general in the military as of yesterday? Oh, if you're not going to get that incentive. So what they do is they combine all these incentives and they give you a one price. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get that price. I don't think profit's a bad word, but I think unfair is. And it becomes unfair when people don't understand these things. And dealers, unfortunately, have to do this. Because when one dealer does it, the other dealer does it, and then the other dealer does it. And what happens is it becomes a competition. And there's some really good dealers out there that really don't want to do this, but if they don't do this, then they're going to lose that customer. So
because nobody's going to come to them right away.
Right. So you don't want to go to the dealer and then find out that you're going to be there for 4 to 7 hours only to find out you don't qualify for 3 out of the 3 rebates. And that's what happens, Dave. It does. You would be pissed. Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you prevent that? There's a couple things you do. Number one, you can go to sites such as TrueCar and Edmunds and research the incentives ahead of time. I'm going to give you another example. When a dealer is saying 0% financing and then they have these rebates, I'm going to just give you a little secret. You're not going to get the 0% financing and the rebate. You're only going to get one or the other. There's no both. And I have the most intelligent clients when they're coming to my company at iAutoAgent for our buyer's agent program. And they're like, hey, we need you to help us buy a car, but we want to go ahead and get the 0%. And we also want the $5,000 off. I'm like, that's not how it works. And so what we do is we vet the whole process for them. So when we get to the dealers love us because we can give the dealer a straightforward answer. And that's all the dealers are asking for. The dealers want you to be as straightforward with them as they are with you, right?
Yeah, so makes sense.
Yeah. And when you research those incentives, you're already going to know what you qualify for and what you don't qualify for. And I'm going to give you another piece while I'm on a roll here. So there's this thing called supply and demand. And we just had one of our listeners reach out to us today. And he wants to buy this. It's like a Chrysler Pacifica hybrid. You can't buy this thing anywhere. And the guy lives in California. And he's like, man, I really want to get this vehicle, but I want to get some extra money off the vehicle, And here's the reality of things. He wants something that doesn't exist because, number one, when a dealer does not have the product and there is a low supply, do not expect massive discounts. It doesn't happen. And the dealers are probably happy me listening to this. In fact, one of my really great dealers, Shane, just left this comment for us. I love taking care of iAuto customers. They always leave happy. And that is so true because Shane is one of my preferred dealers and he gives me the straight scoop. And that's all anybody wants. So when you come to supply and demand and you say, I want a Toyota Tacoma, and there's only 2 of them available, and usually they last about every 24 hours. And I'm going to use Bobby as an example. Our friend Bobby. I use Bobby's name for everything, by the way. So Bobby wanted a Toyota Tacoma, and Shane was actually able to put that deal together. Meanwhile, Bobby never bought the vehicle. But people have to realize when vehicles are in large supply, that is when you're going to see the incentives and the rebates. When they are in short supply and it's a brand new vehicle, you are not going to get those incentives, right? And the fact is you need to know this upfront before you go to the dealer. Don't have unrealistic expectations. And then the next piece is this. We talked about financing. Don't be surprised when you go into the dealer and they tell you the financing. Know what at least you qualify for. Be prepared. My wife always, she gripes at me because I'm always planning, right? I'm Mr. Proactive. But that's what you need to be. Unless you enjoy the long hours at the dealer, then don't do any of this. And then you get to spend all day there, and then it's really fun. And the dealers don't want to do that either. They want to have the car ready. They want the price ready, like Shane, and he left a really, really nice comment. And so basically the reality is when you are ready to make the decision, email back the same person that you spoke to and say, I'm ready to make the decision. I am not a college graduate of Harvard as of yesterday. I am not a colonel in the military as of yesterday. And I don't have a Lamborghini to trade in. What do I qualify for and what do I not qualify for? Let them email that back to you. Once they email that back to you, I'm giving you unbelievable advice right now. This is inside information. And the dealers want this too. The dealers want a straightforward deal. They want you to come in. They want you to know what you want so they can get to the next customer. That's plain and simple. And so here's what happens when you email, I don't know, let's call him Jimmy. When you email Jimmy and you tell Jimmy this is what you want, Jimmy's going to be music to his ears. You say, what is the price? Jimmy gives you the price and it's done. That's it. And Jimmy gets the vehicle ready. You decide where you want to do the financing. If you want to do financing with a local credit union, that's something I highly recommend. They have the very best rates, and it makes it easy. And 9 times out of 10, the dealer actually works with the credit union that you're affiliated with. So you don't even have to bring back a check. And then, oh man, I'm on a roll, aren't I?
You are. I got a question. I got to ask. So,
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I love it because I'm soaking this up too because my customers think that I have all these answers and I don't. You give them your phone number. But what's the big difference between the rebates and 0% financing? I'm under the impression when you get the 0% financing, you're paying SMRP.
If you do the 0% financing, you're paying what?
MSRP, manufacturer suggested retail.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. No.
Oh, okay.
So dealers are incentivized by the manufacturer in a couple different ways. Number one, they are allowed to share the rebates with the consumers. But the other thing that dealers are incentivized with is something called customer service. And I'm going to use Shane as an example because he has been a huge fan and he's a massive dealer partner of ours. What we do is we learn about the incentives that the dealers are offered by the manufacturers. And they may be incentives that you don't know about. And that's something that we find out about. And sometimes, if you're trying to do this yourself and you don't go through iAutoAgent to buy your next car, then when you are doing it yourself, you may ask them, is the manufacturer offering your dealership any type of incentives for the end of the month? Because everybody asks, is it best to buy a car at the end of the month? And the answer is 9 times out of 10, yes. Because dealers have to hit a certain level in units, but also a certain level in customer service. And when they hit those numbers, the manufacturers will provide them a bonus. Just like you would get at work. If you hit a certain amount of numbers, you will get a bonus. The same thing with the dealers. They are franchised owners. So their boss is the manufacturer. And those are some of the things that I find out. my great dealers, they just tell me right off the bat, we can do this and we can do that. And then we go back to our clients and say, hey, this is what they can do. What do you want to do? They say, well, I want to go ahead and move forward with it. Okay, great. The dealers actually, the ones that we deal with, will actually draw up the paperwork for the client. I mean, everything's ready to go. Yes. And my dealers, and I'm going to say Shane again, they will deliver not only the test drive, but they will deliver the car itself with the paperwork. Now, that's not all dealers, but a lot of our preferred dealers are doing that. So if you really want to cut down on like all these different things, deal with a dealer that has a great reputation, and you will know right off the bat. And you will also know if the reviews seem real or they are not real. Let's face it, when you see 3,500 reviews for a dealer, they may not be real reviews, but you will be able to tell by reading through all of those. We are all human. We all have instincts. Trust your instincts.
Sure. I got another question, Jay.
Yeah. We've got about 9 more minutes.
It's Q&A with me and you. So I have dealership experience once upon a time, but as a technician. So when somebody's vetting the dealer, how much do they pay attention to the reviews for the service department? How good is it? Or hey, it's covered under warranty. Who cares?
Yeah, no, it's a huge part because let's face it, the whole idea of dealerships is not necessarily to make the money on the car that they sell. I mean, they make a little bit of money, but not a ton on a new car. They make their money in the service department, and the goal is to get the customer to come back to the service department. So I'm going to use Toyota as an example. So I have a Toyota Tundra that I leased. They have a 2-year, 24,000 miles maintenance. In 2 years and 24,000 miles, we're all going to get accustomed to going back to the dealer. And when you keep going back to the dealer and you have a good experience with the dealer, you're going to go buy your car from that dealer again, most likely. And the service department is really, really key because let's face it, Dave, you're like the best out there at what you do. Trusted, what is it? Trusted services with no surprises.
That's right.
I'm going to tell you this. Not everybody is created equal when it comes to service departments, and that could be a whole nother topic. But when you are reading the reviews, you're going to see this person, this service department tried to do this, and they told me I needed to spend this, and I really only needed this. And that's one thing if it's just one person saying it. Another thing, if you see a pattern over and over again, now you're thinking in your head, I don't know if I want to deal with these people or not.
Yeah, because most people, wherever they buy the car from, they take it back there for service and the warranty and yada, yada, yada. Yeah.
They do. And there's no reason not to take it back. I mean, when you're under warranty and you have maintenance, I have a Volkswagen, also a lease, a company lease. And it has 3 years, 36,000 miles on maintenance. So I'm going to have, I'll be under maintenance as long. Actually, am I right on that? I think it is 3 years, 36. I have to double check and make sure I'm right. It's definitely not less, but it may be more. But yeah, I mean, I know that car is covered, and I'm going to continue to use that service department. Why wouldn't I? It's free. It's part of the car.
Sure.
But when they come out of warranty, that's when they get to go see you.
I hope so.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. You are amazing. Amazing. I don't want to make your head explode, but
no.
I don't know if people realize who they're actually hearing right now. Your reputation is just flawless. Like, I don't hear anything but positives about you. So there's a little warm fuzzies for you.
Now,
But,
hey, with that maintenance, because you're leasing a couple vehicles, are you required to take it back to the dealers you bought it for, or can you hop from one Toyota to another Toyota?
No, you can take it anywhere.
Okay.
Because keep in mind, these types of things are given by the manufacturer. So the manufacturer, again, these are franchise dealers. So you can go to one dealer that's closest to you. I tend to go to the dealer not necessarily this closest to me, believe it or not. And that just happens to be where Shane works. He's still listening. But like the people that take care of you, you don't forget about them.
Sure.
You go above and beyond. You continue to build that relationship because relationships are built on trust.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, as many people as they knock dealers, not all dealers are bad. And, that's what the whole moral of the story is that there are some good ones out there. And unfortunately, the bad ones ruin it for the good ones. But you'll find out real quick whether you're dealing with a bad one or a good one. Again, it goes back to the reviews, But we've got about 3 minutes left, and I want to really cover the next step because there is something we need to talk about.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
What blew my mind is you didn't even realize this. I'll let you say it. You go.
Well, it's certified pre-owned, and really what the difference is. I thought I knew what certified pre-owned, but we had a conversation, and I found out I don't know what certified pre-owned. I know enough to know I don't know enough.
All I can tell you is at our next podcast, because I didn't even realize, because I'm thinking everybody knows this.
No.
But there are some things that you need to know about. I'm not even going to reveal it. We're going to we go live Tuesday at 5:30, and it's also streamed all over everything, iTunes and Pandora. There's like Techie Tony, he puts it everywhere. But there are some things that the public needs to know about certified cars and the truth of certified cars and the myths that you think about certified cars. Because certified cars.
Don't tell us, Jay.
I'm not. I gotta hold it in. You gotta hold it in.
Have to mute you. You're muted.
Yeah. But anyway, I just I really enjoyed this. I hope that everybody got a lot out of it. And today, as always, this podcast is sponsored by iAutoAgent at iAutoAgent.com. We're real estate agents for cars. And
I'm David Marks with Quality Auto STL, the home of trusted services with no surprises.
If everybody could please like and subscribe, we appreciate all the support that everybody has been giving us. This is our 8th episode, episode 9 coming, and I can't wait to share about the certified pre-owned because people are going to fall out of their chairs when they hear this. So I have a hard time keeping surprises. And
I need a mute button. I can mute you.
You got to mute because okay. Anyway, so that's the end of our broadcast today. I'd like to again thank Techie Tony with Techie Tony Media. He has been great as a producer. And if you have any questions, comments, please let us know. Subscribe.theautoauthorities.com. And my name's Jay Grossman with iAutoAgent. And
I'm David Marks, Quality Auto STL.
And we will see you next week.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.